regards to the psychotechnology aspect of it, it's a way of imbuing ideas, wisdom, and this story in this form that can be optimally digested, optimally adapted, integrated by anyone.
How does a person answer why something happens?
When you look at the findings in different fields,
scant is the part of life in which we live.
To attain the highest values.
I want to take the conversation to Meaningwave, a genre of music that you created. You describe it as a combination of wave music, meaningful lyrics, and lo-fi hip-hop.
Yeah, not anymore.
Oh,
Maybe
really?
that was some
Okay.
years ago. I mean, at this...
Okay, cool. Well, let's start there. How would you describe it?
Yeah, well, it's not a genre. People say it's a genre. People say you've invented a genre. And that's might be the case. I mean, what I've been doing with combining speech with music, I've been doing for like 20 years. Like I was doing this on early mixtapes. And it was kind of in the early days, it was like, you used to have, on rap albums, you'd have skits, you know?
Yep.
Or you'd have like a bit of someone talking for 5 seconds at the beginning of a record. And I was like, what if that was the whole record? And that's happened before. There's examples of that. No one's kind of taken it to the level I've at and finessed it into the fucking ridiculous level that I have done. But you know, talking plus music is a thing that has existed since people could talk and make music. What I've done with Meaningwave specifically is Meaningwave's like it's a psychotechnology and it's an epic story. So what really works with humans is stories, right? And as regards to the psychotechnology aspect of it, it's a way of imbuing ideas, wisdom, and this story in this form that can be optimally digested, optimally adapted, integrated by anyone, really. So it was like, I thought of the eternally useful metaphor that is the movie The Matrix, that has just been, that had so much packed into it, so much densely, such a perfect example of that archetypal mythology thing that Campbell and Peterson and Young and all these people have spoken about. There's so much packed into the Matrix. They didn't even know what they were doing. I mean, they ripped off so many different things, very, very specifically, and the people they were ripping off didn't necessarily know what they were doing either. But anyway, that whole section in it where he's like, I know Kung Fu. I was like, oh, you could do that with music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was working on, I'd been listening to reading Scott Adams' How to Get Rich. What was it? How to Fail at Everything and Still Succeed, or whatever the fuck book.
Yeah.
And he was talking about affirmations and shit, and how that's basically, you know, and I was looking into that in relation to what I've been previously experimenting with chaos magic. And I realized all it is essentially directing your subconscious, as we were talking about a little about earlier, right? If your subconscious does not have a direction, it will become a tool of someone else's direction if you're not fucking careful. You know, wash your own brain, all that type of thing. I was like, oh, music is the perfect delivery mechanism for introducing ideas and making them stick. I knew this because when I was a teenager, the last exams I did when I was 16, I left school just after that. But the only, not rehearsal, what's the word? Studying, estudiar. The only estudiar I did was reading my notes over ambient music and playing it when I went to sleep.
Yeah.
And that shit worked. So anyway, with Meaningwave, I was like, all right, so there's this story, and in it, like we were talking about earlier, between all these people and all these stories, between these seemingly competing and seemingly disparate ideas and philosophies and so on, amidst all of that is everything we need. Everything we need to get the most out of this single lifetime while we're here. Everything we need to advance, you know, as far as we need to advance. Everything we need to break these intergenerational trauma cycles. All the various fucking things. We have like bigger issues ahead of us that we need to surpass. And it's like, how can we get all of these things in one place? And the way I realized that I could do it was via music and via this specific marrying of music and speech and ideas